Hi, everyone. It's DocTalk. Man, we have made it to the middle of April, and the seasons have changed rapidly. And so we're going to have to stay timely in our presentations. A typical public safety advisory for May for public safety services is about drowning. And that is typically Memorial Day as the start of our swim season and worry about drowning. Unfortunately, we had our first drowning here in our community this week, and I'm watching the temperatures across the western part of the country moving to the east, and it's getting hot very quickly. So we're going to bring one of our early and very important safety messages to you this week on Doc Talk. Thank you all for your responses on allergy presentation a couple weeks ago. It turns out it was very timely in having that topic, and I got really good feedback from some of you, so thank you. Infectious disease, a little quiet right now. Be wary of kids with bad rashes. Measles is out there and growing. But the topic for today is pediatric drowning. And we worry about this topic each time of the year because we have, if you will, a new crop of waterways opening, whether they be natural waterways or pools. We have people on vacations, and it's middle of spring break time here, right around Easter. And people are in unfamiliar places, and that is the setup for drowning. All we want to teach about pediatric drowning is on the prevention side. I'll talk a little bit about the response should it happen, but this is all about prevention. So in the hands of parents, our key messages are pediatrics and waterways don't go together very well without appropriate training of the child and training of the adult. The children, if possible at a very early age, need to be taught the rescue technique. And what they teach these little infants now is how, if they are into and immersed in a body of water, that they flip onto their backs and float. And it's a very specific technique they teach even infants. And then there's a tendency for infants to carry that through their childhood until the next lessons are about learning how to swim. If it's possible for you to get your children involved in a program like that at a very early age, it is very beneficial. And the next important step is for them to do swimming lessons. Not available to all people, so here's the general message. If there's water around, eyes should be on the children at all times. Number two, if there's physical barriers that can be put around the pool, fencing, locked doors, multiple locked doors, that's always good. But still assume that a child can break through those things or climb over them or get through them. And so it's never good to have children where they know there's bodies of water and without parents having eyes. It takes seconds. And that's some of the most desperate stories you will see is mom says, dad says, hey, I just looked away for a minute to pick up a phone call or to go drop something in the dishwasher and the child disappeared, and then they go looking for them. Message number three is if your child is fascinated with water, then you need to at least double, if not triple, your efforts to keep them out of it unsupervised. And so that involves specifically locked areas to get into that, an acknowledgement around that of fences and other things that will keep the child from getting in. If these are open bodies of water, there's ponds around the apartment complexes and stuff. It has to be then eyes on the child at all times. You can teach some children then some real appreciation and respect for the water. Some kids are not able to really appreciate and process that quickly. So then again, it is physical presence and physical barriers that prevent the child from getting into that body of water and drowning. Children don't have appreciation for cold bodies of water this time of the year, and cold paralyzes their muscles even quicker than warm water. And so this is why pediatric drowning this time of the year is even worse, because that water to a child looks just the same, whether it's 50 degrees or it's 85 degrees. You as an adult would know, hey, if that's a cold body of water, I can barely put my toes in. But children will jump in will slide in, will slip in, and that's our usual set of tragic circumstances this time of the year. I cannot encourage you enough to get children into swim classes or into these water survival classes at an even earlier age, as much as possible for you, even if you don't live directly on water. In the vacation season, then we have the children who are exposed to water on their vacation time in unfamiliar places and with lots of distractors. So the number 4 message is about distraction. And please don't let yourself be distracted by other activities that are going on in your vacation time. Let attention to the child slip away. And for the next thing, we're missing the child. The next thing, we're there at the child. Step number 5 is rescue. And if you find that the child is in water, the most important steps that you can take are to immediately pull the child up out of the water. In some ways, the children will then hopefully begin coughing or gasping in some way. You may recognize there's water in the front of their mouth or in the upper part of their airway, in which case they want to cough it out. And it's best if you hold them so that their head is down and can get that out most easily. At the current time, the rescue technique is not about doing a Valsalva or another chest compression maneuver, but instead, if that child is not breathing rapidly, then you open up their mouth, you cup your hand around their mouth, you put your lips on your fingers, and breathe into the child's mouth that way. You want to breathe enough to inflate the child's chest, and you continue that breathing until you get some cycle of time where you're able to get air into their lungs. And then hopefully at that point, it's time for you to check for a pulse. And we check for pulses in children at the neck level and at the crease of their elbow. Those are the only frankly reliable places in a little child to check for pulses. If at the point where you've done breathing and the child is not responsive and you can't feel pulses, then it's time to begin 100 compressions a minute that may be from 2 fingers in the littlest children to about 4 fingers in a little bigger child to the palm of your hand in an even bigger child. So that's the rescue scenario. Activate 911 as quick as possible, and then begin to gather stuff that you need to get the child undressed, so not cold, and then warm over the top of that with something dry, like dry towels or blankets or something else. Rescuers will understand the gravity of a situation when you have a pediatric drowning and will get there as quick as possible. So pediatric drowning, all about prevention at this point, a little bit about rescue if needed. Please don't let one of these tragedies affect the people around you, in your family, in your vacation plans, etc. So DocTalk, here we are, middle of April, talking about summertime activities. I wish you the best. Enjoy the Easter season, Passover, and our frank move right into the spring season. Take care, everyone.